This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, second-year quarterback Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans face off with Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. With that, let's head up to Nashville for the Titans home opener. On the call, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks. We are across the Cumberland River from downtown Nashville at Nissan Stadium in Tennessee. The whole of downtown Nashville likely still reverberating with the sounds of the Titans taking the field a moment ago. They're ready for football as their Titans are set to match up with the Houston Texans. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we take a look at this Titan ball club entering play. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they come off a good win in the opener on the road, and they get a second road game here.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't really do them any favors, but if they can win here and get to 2-0 on the road, they can be well set up for the rest of the year.
Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. Here comes Bruce Ellington on the return. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. The former national champion at Clemson bringing him onto the field, and that's the signal caller, Deshaun Watson.
Well, he started his season the way that everyone wants to start their season, with an absolute bang. AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Let's see where he goes from here.
Set the bar high. Week 2, we'll see what he can do. On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. A look at the numbers from last week for Miller. 18 carries, 81 yards.
And well-liked by his teammates. In fact, I got on good authority, even though I'm not an investigative reporter, that in their team meeting this week, the offensive line stood up and said, Coach, we've got to have better yardage for this guy. He's number 9 in the league. He's got to be in the top 3 before the season's over. Let's run the ball.
Watson hands to Miller on the draw. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
DeAndre Hopkins was named All-Pro for the first time in 2017, and really don't have to do much but look at the statistics to know why. 4 touchdown grabs in 2016, jumped that up to 13 in 2017. That led all NFL receivers. Also added in 96 catches and close to 1,400 yards. DeAndre Hopkins' ability to get free in the secondary is a marvel, mainly because of head fakes and body control.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A first down carry now for Miller. He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5. Defensively, starting lineup now for Tennessee. They sit at number 20 in the NFL right now against the run.
One thing you do know, they'll be fired up because they're facing a top 5 rushing attack. And even if they have early success against them, they got to remember they got to sustain it, because teams that are top 5, they don't stop running the ball if they don't get things done early.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. That's going to be caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans have taken the early lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by their 4th-year quarterback from Oregon, Marcus Mariota.
The numbers in 2017, not what anyone expected. 13 touchdowns, but 15 interceptions, although he did lead the Titans to the playoffs for the first time in a decade, and then led them to a huge upset victory in Kansas City in the wild card round.
Mariota and the Titans break the huddle 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. On the ground, this is Derrick Henry, and he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people.
A 50-50 ball here that's intercepted. Picked off by Andre Howell. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice and ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stack sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for
it. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Dion Lewis, a first carry for the expatriate. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. An 8-yard gain, so that gets him halfway there. Now they're left with a 3rd and 8 more.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to.
And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
On 4th down, here's Brett Kern to punt the football away. Back deep, Bruce Ellington. Texans set to come onto the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, we keep stats on everything, don't we? This is one that you don't want to have. That's his second drop right here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, only in the first quarter. Certainly a ship that he wants to right quickly. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing again is Watson. Dancing to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in his first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage and make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Here's Shane Leckler now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Titans are going to start this drive in great field position as they take over 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Lewis. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Moving backwards on first down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on second down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
With the former Volunteer Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Titans with a football here to begin quarter number 2, but they face a second and long to start things out. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Mariota now on second down. Sets up the screen to Lewis. Oh, and Lewis lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So on fourth down, here's the Tennessee field goal unit led by Ryan Succop. Right hash mark of 42-yard attempt. And Succop will put this one right through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Now it's Ellington to return. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
Richmond.
Well, they obviously red man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that? And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Brian Orakpo not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Watson now to throw, and this one is incomplete.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. To throw is Watson, eluding the pressure right. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time.
And look at this. It's a fake. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at the 18. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
Dion Lewis getting set to go again here with his guys on offense. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? They go play action here on first down. And he finds Corey Davis. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now Mariota, and this will be incomplete. One of his main targets, Delaney Walker, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Mariota to throw it. And that will be incomplete as well.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for it. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Tennessee after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, the coach is back. He made it through the first weekend. That's the good news, and he's going to regale you with stats and scores from around the NFL here in the early games in Week 2.
You think he questioned coming back for Week 2, having to work with us?
I think he did. He's just happy that he is far away in Orlando.
Richmond.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Flushed out right, and he's got room. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
On 1st and 10, Watson steps away to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Kevin Dodd not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground. And that's one of the dangers of the quick game. If you only have a 2- or 3-step drop, if you don't get the ball to someone open right away, those defenders are right near the line of scrimmage, and they can get on top of you in a heartbeat.
3rd and long. It's Watson. Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. And the Titans going to signal for a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Shane Leckler now. On, we think, to punt, though he's faked it earlier, but he was unsuccessful. Campanero on the return. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return, and it'll be Titan football. Marcus Mariota getting ready to go again here on offense. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to bounce that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Dumps it off to Lewis. Pushes past him. Finding some room in midfield. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. As they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Mariota on first down. And this one caught by Delaney Walker. Touchdown, Titans! Delaney Walker, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Titans are able to strike for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Deshaun Watson and the Texans offense trot back out there. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Caught left side, Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, he's all alone. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there just before halftime. 72 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. They'll try to punch it in with Miller. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. Now, maybe a nice psychological boost there just to get back to even with that field goal as we head towards half.
Coaching 101 always says at halftime, play it like it's 0-0 on the scoreboard. Well, in this case, it's level, right? Same score each side. Just start over. Now you get the second half to play.
Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll start things out with a trip up to FedEx Field. Washington playing host to visiting Indianapolis. And as they approach halftime, it's the Redskins who have the lead in that one. Alex Smith with 3 touchdown passes. From there, we're off to check out another game, and they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Carolina Panthers. 2 touchdown passes there for the former MVP, Matt Ryan. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And it's the visiting LA Chargers who are out in front. The Chargers locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been as tight as we expected, all tied through one half of play. For the call of the second half, let's get it back to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Out come the Titans now. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. DJ Reader getting in there from his defensive tackle spot to snow him under for a loss of 4.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Mariota. And that's going to be incomplete. And the tight end Luke Stocker was the target. And that takes us from second to third down. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. And this one will wind up being down just outside of that 20-yard line. DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Miller. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Daquan Jones in on the tackle there.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
They'll try to run for it with Miller. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Oh, some strong running. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
You have to control the guy playing over the nose in order to run the ball up the middle against a 3-4, and they did that very well on that play. And that hurts the linebackers because what they're counting on, especially the guys in the middle, is that nose taking on 2, sometimes 3 blockers, eating those guys up and allowing the linebackers to run free and make a play. But when they control the nose, it allows other guys to get upfield to that second level and block the linebackers. And now the running back's got some room to roam.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
And the tackle's made there by one of the secondary members. And I can guarantee you, having played that spot in the huddle right now or on the field, they're urging for a little bit more support from the guys up front. I actually remember one game where I hopped over a defensive lineman to make a tackle downfield and realized he was 10 yards downfield. That's not good. That's being driven off the line of scrimmage, and you can't have that if you're going to win a game on defense.
Miller will get it. He has been busy today, and that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
On 3rd down, the defense decided to blitz. A very good job of recognizing it, stepping away from the pressure, and finding open space to scramble and pick up a first down.
Here's a give to Miller. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. The tackle was by the Boston College product, Harold Landry.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. It's a good pickup on the ground of 7 yards, and time has run out on this 3rd quarter.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Out of the gun, Watson, flush to his right. He can run for it, and he will. And it's a touchdown. Deshaun Watson with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Texans have broken the tie. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? But I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes it a 17-10 score. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
First down, Mariota. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Whitney merciless. Leading the surge there, he drops him for a loss of 6.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And Walker with it over the middle. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him when he's called upon. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, able to get in and run him down for a loss of 14.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And the pressure gets to him again.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Working out of the gun, Mariota. Over the middle, complete. It's Walker. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A crazy sequence here. A huge gain that time, but it still leaves them well short for fourth down.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. So at the start of this game, it looked like the defense was wearing him down a little bit. Now you look at the numbers, that's kind of flipped.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. And his offensive line has really started to play well. And the best offensive line coaches that I've ever talked to, when they have great runners, you know what they tell their guys? Relax. You don't have to be perfect. Get as many guys as you can, but if you leave one free, the great runner will either make him miss or go through him. So don't worry about that. You don't have to be so precise. Just go ahead, block some people, try and create some room, and allow him to go to work.
And he'll get this only up to about the 35. A gain of 3, second down.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards.
Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Watson hands this to Foreman, and the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Here's Shane Leckler now as he's on to punt for Houston. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Marcus Mariota and the offense heading back out for their next possession. I would imagine you want to win every game big, but if you're a quarterback in the NFL, this is the spot that you love.
You've been dreaming of it since you were a kid, playing in the backyard or the front yard, wherever, where you went through those imaginary situations. Now it's real, though. What practice have you put in since the OTAs, the mini camps, preseason camp? sequence of plays, get the ball to the outside, get it out of bounds, save your timeouts, move the ball downfield to get your team in a position to win the game.
And a field goal, of course, no good. They need a score. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking to find some space for Dion Lewis there, and it's third down. He was unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
It makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A very solid gain of 27. Back to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. He'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try and pick it up with Lewis. And they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Texans are going to win the football game. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop them short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
Down to a knee here as the Texans look to let the clock roll. So here we go, Charles, 3rd down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee. Here's Shane Leckler now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Marcus Mariota getting ready to go again here on offense. Well, the situation very simple here. Late game, down 7. They've got to get it in the end zone.
And the best players know how to be calm in these situations because you know right now his pulse is like a jackhammer. So how does he...
And he lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do. And they were hoping to get down there, get the score, and get this thing into overtime. How deflating.
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it, heartbreaking. They had an opportunity, had a chance, and probably were feeling pretty good about what was going on, and that was taken away from them by their own mistake.
Yep, the opportunity squashed. Football League, Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Houston, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they'll return home next week to take on the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.